Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Today's matchup features the top-scoring pass offense in the NFL. The Colts are top 10 in passing TDs, and they'll go against the Chargers, who are very aware of what they'll be dealing with. So for the call of this week's 17 matchup, let's send it out to our broadcast team, Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
And we welcome you to Lucas Oil Stadium, which opened back in 2008 here in the Circle City of Indianapolis, Indiana. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Guyton, and Charles, we take a look at the Colts entering play. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games. And a big collision there as he winds up flat on his back.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Chargers, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes that actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
So 2nd and 10 here. Now a carry here for Terrence West. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big, big pickup. And guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And a first carry here for Charles Sims. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. They'll fake the handoff. Now Luck. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. There he goes left side. And they will finally run him down, but not until he brings this one all the way back down inside the 10-yard line.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
They'll run it with West. And they get him down at the 1. He had the broken tackle, but ultimately could not get into the end zone. The numbers here last week for West. 10 carries, 60 yards.
And to me, the goal is the exact same thing as last week. Get him the ball early and often. I think he's got another big game in him in this one.
They'll try to pound it in with West. And he will get in. And across the chalk for a Chargers touchdown. Terrence West with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Chargers have taken a first-quarter lead. And it's up and good. Vinatieri out there to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. As the Colts offense makes their way out, we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. Even though they might not find the number 1 seed next to their name come playoff time, there's not going to be very many teams, if any, entering the playoffs on the kind of run they're on. They're hot.
And I love that word, hot, because every team in the league wants to go into the playoffs on that uptick. Because a lot of the time you serve notice to the rest of the league that, hey, we're the team you need to deal with. We're the team that's going to be a real problem for you. And if they can continue this streak, they could very well be that team and gain that confidence that they're seeking as they head to the playoffs. And
confidence, that's the word I would use from our meetings with them. They said we're playing our best football right now. It is showing. Sims. Room here to run. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49. 25 yards to pick up there and also a first down.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
Well, they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
Yeah, nobody leaked. Big play. On first down, it's Love. Throw left side complete. That's Hale. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Offense still needing 10 yards. 2nd down. Now Love. Eluding the pressure right. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. C.O. Moore able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
Partner, I know the ball security's preached like crazy, but every now and then you've got to know when to get rid of the football and save a little bit of yardage if you're a quarterback.
Because now if you're the offensive coordinator, what does it do if it was 3rd and 10 versus 3rd and much longer as it is now?
Yeah, it changes everything in terms of play calling and the pressure you might expect to face on the very next down. Had to throw the ball away and save the yardage. He didn't get it done.
It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
Anytime you call man coverage against Larry Fitzgerald, you're really holding your breath as a defensive guy because his ability to run such precise routes and use that big frame that he has, that body against you, it's going to be very difficult to break passes up against him.
Yeah, when you make 9 Pro Bowls in your first 12 years, you might want to give him a little bit more coverage than that.
Yeah, it's not just athletic ability. He's a thinking man's receiver as well.
Time running out here on the play clock. Just beating the play clock is Love. Flush to his right. 10 more there and another first down.
How about that scramble by Andrew Luck? Sometimes we forget just how big, strong, and yes, fast Andrew Luck is. When he came out of college at the Combine, shocked everyone, ran a sub-4 840.
And he grew up a big soccer guy over in Europe, so he knows how to use his feet.
That he does, and I think it has helped his legs along the way as well.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
Now it's Luck off the bootleg. His throw caught at about the 5. And they do get him down, but not before he reaches the 4-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Charles Sims, his first touchdown on the year. And the Colts are an extra point away from tying up this football game. And there you go, nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Time for our first check of the NFL scoreboard. And it's an early lead there for the Saints. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. A big hit. Knocked down sideways.
Well, conventional football, football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go.
Now a hit, and Rivers lost the football. And the Colts pick it up. And they've got the football, and they're already knocking on the door inside the 5 at the 4-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll be 2nd and goal. Luck now to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Trey Boston. And look out, I think he's going to go. And he will take this all the way down to the 38-yard line.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Now the first carry for Brandon Oliver. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Second down, Rivers. Caught left side, Williams. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 14 yards is the pickup there, and a Charger first down.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
They go play action here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So incomplete on first. Let's see what 2nd down has in store. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up. Wanting to get a good get off on the snap, jump too quickly.
They run. It's Oliver. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Brandon Oliver with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Chargers have taken the lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
This is taken at his 4. And a great return. Solid field position. He's up all the way to the 45-yard line.
Well, you gave up the first touchdown of the game, but how about the response? Big-time return. Now it's their chance to try and put points on the board.
The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And as these guys interplay in Week 17, we know one thing. They are playoff bound, but they want to win that division title. They told us that is a goal that's been posted in their locker room since day one. They've got the chance to control their own destiny.
And there's nothing more powerful than saying that you won the division, because I know from building a team, when I talk with all the GMs and the player personnel directors, they always talk about, to get to the playoffs in the NFL, you have to have a team that's constructed to win your division. Beat those teams first. That's your number one path to getting there, and they can get that done.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. They'll run here with Sims. Heck of a broken tackle, but only able to work this down near the 23. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
They'll run it again with Sims. And he is going to be knocked flat on his back. Oh, a big hit. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And he's got Fitzgerald. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
To throw on 2nd down is Love. And oh, not only did he drop it, he dropped it in the end zone.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
Here's Sims on the run. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal.
Now this feels like old school football because this has turned into a good old-fashioned goal line stand. So on offense, what do you do now? Do you decide to run it or throw it if you go for it on 4th down?
So they take it all the way to the 1-yard line, but in the end, they opt for 3.
I know if this was a video game, they never would have gone for the field goal because, Brandon, who kicks field goals in video games? But you got to make sure you get points, and that was as easy a 3 as you can get.
You kick field goals in video games. That's who kicks field goals in video games. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. The partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
They run it here with Oliver. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Third and short yardage, Rivers. And he's got a man open. That's Allen. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. The Charger first down. Rivers hooking up with Allen.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. On the run, it's Oliver. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
He just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
Rivers now on second down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 7 yards on the play. And just like that, it's third down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Vontae Davis. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole, because you have to find a way to make those interceptions quote-unquote go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
After the interception, it's Love. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Here's Luck now on second down. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Third and long. It's Locke. Throwing right, and that's complete. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield across the 45. And they convert on third with a gain of 22. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Indianapolis right after this. Coming up at halftime, remember, we'll get you out to Larry Ridley in Orlando for highlights and analysis of this first half. That is, of course, unless you decide to skip him.
And for the record, we do not encourage that.
Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Only a yard that time, second and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
And that is incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Now Luck on 3rd and goal. The quick slant caught. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. So it's an old-school extra point, but certainly a disappointment that they couldn't get 6.
Yeah, when you see 19-yard field goal in the box score, you kind of shake your head. But their head coach decided 3 was enough.
And some big-time hitting going on there. He is knocked to the ground at the 18-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going. But we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your right.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And now here's a timeout called by the Colts on the defensive side of the ball. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's a carry for Oliver. Big hold of the 30. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. And another timeout taken by the Colts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. The Chargers on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. They go again with Oliver. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. .46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. This is taken at the 15. So we've come upon halftime here in so no update from Larry after 17 weeks. Folks are saying, let's get on with the show. So we'll oblige as we get you set for the second half kickoff. Elsewhere, a score update from New Orleans. And it's an early lead there for the Saints. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Here's Luck. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Hale. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That's good for an Indianapolis first down on a gain of 10.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, You enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
And if you're the defense and those D tackles, you like that they're trying to run the football here against your 4-3, don't you?
Yeah, because they tend to eat things up because they are so strong and physical, and especially when they play with leverage, where they get lower than the offensive linemen and control them. And what I love about the good defensive tackle, they can play over the guards, they can slide and play over the center. Nobody in the offense likes that day when they have to deal with those guys.
A gain of 11 that time, and a Colts first down.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. And the play clock's running down. Now a play fake here on first down. He's got his man on the crossing route. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A big play there with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Colts are going to jump back in front. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase it.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know in the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Now a second down throw for Rivers. And this will be incomplete.
So many qualities coaches tick off when they talk about, hey, what is it going to take to make an excellent quarterback? Accuracy has to rank near the top of every list.
Talk about arm strength, that's great. Mobility, great. But you need that accuracy in there. That one well in front of his man.
Yeah, now they got to face a big third down.
The Chargers on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds. So a big call there that brings up 4th.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
That's taken on the 25. 12 yards on the return that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change it?
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Melvin Ingram in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
The Colts on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. A shotgun snap for Love. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Hale. It'll be a gain of 17 and an Indianapolis 1st down. So the offense has it 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Love. And the reception made by Dante Moncrief. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Now they run with Sims. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Not much happening there on 1st down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Again, they run with Sims. And he's brought down. That one for Indianapolis, resulting in 15 yards and a fresh set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, but a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And the defense with their backs against the wall a little bit here as the offense is in the red zone. From the red zone now, Locke. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for Dante Moncrief that time. And it's 2nd down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open. And this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Now Perkins. And they see right through that defensively, as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. 9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Out of the gun, Luck. His throw caught at about the 5. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Larry Fitzgerald, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Colts are able to grow their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And the Chargers coming out on the field now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
On second down, Rivers again. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Travis Benjamin that time. And that takes us from second to third down.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. And he'll get this up only to about the 22. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on fourth down. Here's Dustin Colquitt now. He's been terrific so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And we'll see what he can do on the return. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And our focus now moves on to Larry Fitzgerald. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far, he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that, because it has been pretty good. But there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, and when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
So the offense readies for a 2nd and 4. Here's Luck. Throw left side complete. It's Hale. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Colts. They've got control of the football. They also have the lead as we start the 4th. On 3rd down. That's Sims. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It'll be a loss of 1. And that'll bring up 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
Now the Chargers offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Second down now after the incompletion. To throw again. Rivers. And right side, Henry's got it. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
This game just keeps evolving and changing, doesn't it? You got a tight end who can move around a lot. Not necessarily using a big body on him. Sometimes you take a corner, a better cover guy, and put him on him and try and take him out of the game as we've seen in this one.
You're exactly right. They've taken him out of the game. That was just his first catch. Big reason they're losing right now. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47, and they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Toss play to Sims. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge. Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
He'll get it to the 23-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Second down, they need less than a yard to pick up the first. Now Sims. Open space inside the 10. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. That one good for 17 yards. And now they've got it 1st and goal.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a kick.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Paul Perkins, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Colts add on to their lead. And certainly some credit there for that touchdown goes to the offensive line.
They never get the credit they deserve in the stat sheet, but they are the reason that they got the points. Excellent job up front, clearing the way for the score.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Heading back out, the Chargers offense. We get a peek at the playoff picture of the AFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 17. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD. Pretty much erase any hopes of a 4th quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That's fielded in the end zone. And he is knocked down from the side. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Give him 15 yards on that one and a Charger 1st down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination. Guys who know.
And it's a fumble. And he's got some space here. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Play clock winding down. Now they try the right side here. And Sims lost it. He lost the football. And picked up by the Chargers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Pardon me, you know how often we hear about the red zone, right? From the 20-yard line going in, that scoring zone, getting points on the board. A lot of teams call from the 10-yard line in the green zone. That's your money zone. He fumbles the ball inside the money zone. You have one job, take care of the ball. That didn't happen.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. And some extras coming up on the line here, readying for the blitz. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. 2nd down, offense behind the sticks here. 2nd and 13. And they give this time to the tailback. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 13 on the play, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Really tough drive, but that run helped salvage something there because now there's something positive that came out of it. We got to see good blocking, good push by the offensive line, wide receivers trying to get involved, a good run by the back, and now maybe it'll be a catalyst for them to look at going forward, watching it on tape. Maybe they can keep incorporating that type of a run into their offense. Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown, and frankly, that should have been another pick right there. A 4th quarter score now from Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. The gap there has widened. The Seahawks just scored again. And if they could hold on to that lead, it would be win number 4 on the season for them. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. We these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing.